In this video, I am going to make the cutest little pop-up with squirrels that you ever have seen. You know I love squirrels, and these little BB squirrels are just the cutest because they have a bunch of different scenes. Now, our acorns in Texas are yellow and green for most of the year until very, very late in the fall. So whenever I color acorns, I color them like I see them most of the year, which is this way. But you can color your acorns any way you like. This little squirrel is balancing 4 of the acorns, and he is going to go on the front of the adorable slider surprise die. Now this cute little die has a pull-up feature that reveals a hidden panel inside your card, and I am going to use that panel to hide, you guessed it, more squirrels, because you can never have too many squirrels. So to begin with, I am prepping the images by coloring them with a combination of Olo and Copic markers. Now the Olo markers have a freer flow of ink than Copics. So if you accidentally go outside the lines when you're coloring, don't sweat it. You can sort of see where I went outside the lines on one of those acorns. If you're putting down multiple layers, sometimes that can happen. I just fix it with a white gel pen and I don't let it keep me up at night. Life is too short to worry about going outside the lines. Now, my squirrels in Texas are fox squirrels for the most part. We do have some eastern gray squirrels, but ours are primarily fox squirrels, which have kind of an orangish fur on their bellies and the inside of their legs, which is very cute. And then the top part of the squirrel is a grayish color that matches our oak trees. These may be the same squirrels that are in Florida, where MFT is from. And so this is why I'm coloring mine a very, very warm color, because this is how they look down here. I guess that's why they call them fox squirrels, because they look like little foxes. But I am going to show you a technique for lightening up the belly portion. So you'll notice that I just colored this squirrel's belly the same color as I colored the rest of the squirrel, pretty much. But in the end, their belly section is going to look completely different and have a fur texture when I'm finished. Now, I had a little scrap of rice paper that you can see kind of moving around on my glass mat. I keep my little paper scraps around to test out markers on when I'm trying to figure out combos for coloring, and those were the 3 squirrel colors that I chose, and so I just grabbed whatever scrap was nearby and tested them out. I do have swatch charts, and I believe in swatch charts, but sometimes it's quicker just to grab a scrap and go to town. Now this little grouping of squirrels, and you can see that the BB Squirrel Dynamics, they cut out all of the little grouped elements in these scenes. So this is like a baby squirrel talking to a mama squirrel, and it's baby squirrel season here in Texas, so this is appropriate. So I am coloring the baby squirrel a slightly different color because in nature they actually do look different from the mom squirrels. They have a different color. I don't know if that's so they can find them or what. So this one is going to be a little bit lighter than the mama squirrel is. But on the mama squirrel, where you can see where it's facing me, I'm going to do the same fur texture on the belly that I'm doing on the other squirrel with the acorns. And I will do that with the white gel pen that you just saw me use after I finish coloring the little baby squirrel. And I'm not doing complicating coloring at all. I'm just doing darks and lights. No intricate shading. You really don't need to do that unless you just love coloring or you're really good at it. You can get kind of a nuanced shaded look with just a little bit of time, really, with dark and light colors. So now I'm making short strokes with the white gel pen on the belly, and I just love this technique. It's so cute, and it really looks like fur, and it changes the relationship between that section of the image and the rest of the image, which is always fun on animals that have a little belly section. So you can see what I mean. See that fun little texture detail? It just takes a second. And those are the kind of things that I really like to add. It makes me look like I'm better at coloring than I really am. Now I'm also adding little tiny white highlights to the eyes and nose of the creatures, just little reflections. I think that's cute too. And sometimes I'll add little white accents elsewhere just to add light highlights around the little squirrel. It's completely up to you, but a white gel pen can really be your friend. So now I'm just using a Sharpie, a skinny Sharpie, to add black to their noses. And I'll put a white highlight in with the white gel pen there as well. These are very quick images to color. So nice clean lines, easy to do. And I'm taking a dark green and a light brown to finish off the acorn caps and the one little oak leaf that is sticking up off the top of that acorn. So cute. So those are really finished. I added a little darker color to the face on that one, but they're essentially done. And here's what they look like with their cute little matching bellies. So fun. So I chose a cool color and I'm using the Slider Surprise Dynamics. This is the insert piece that actually becomes the pull-up portion of the card. And this is the other piece that the die cuts, complete with score marks that have the mechanism that will get pulled up and be dimensional in the finished card. And it cuts the little notch out the top. I've pre-stamped the bottom section with a little sentiment on the bottom, and that is the part that will slide up underneath one of my little squirrel images. So see how this fits in? It becomes the panel that you pull up, and there's a little bit of space around the side, which you can put your adhesive on. I'm using foam adhesive just to give it a little bit of room. So you'll just want the white piece to be lined up first. You could even glue it first. I'm going to glue it afterwards. But you can glue it first. It doesn't make a difference. It's such a simple mechanism because all you've done is die cut that folding piece. Just crease along those little score lines. And then that one little section at the bottom, that gets adhesive. So I'm putting some glue on there. And that's what pulls up the pull-up. It's the simplest interactive die ever. So I love the rounded corners on this. It's so much fun. And all you do is just line it up at the top so that it's even with that little pull tab. And then this is the piece that gets stuck to just that very bottom section, about 1/4 of an inch. And that's all it takes to pull up that pop-up element. Very, very cute. Now, if you get it out of alignment, like I did here, I had it a little bit too far down, just trim that off. Or you can just be better at gluing than I am. So now it will go onto a card base like this, and you'll be able to see how that pulls up, but it lays flat for mailing. So this is what will happen when they pull it up. It'll form basically a little easel, and then the sentiment stays down, and that is the hidden space for my extra squirrels. No squirrels are extra. You need all the squirrels. So it basically forms a little window, and before I adhere the entire card together, I want to position that window and get my squirrels right in the right place for when I put that all together. So I'll pop a magnet on there to let that dry, and I'm going to cut a piece of foam tape in half so that it's skinny enough to go on either side of the little pull-up panel. I love that it's a whole panel. That gives you tons of room for different kinds of stamping, if that's what you want to do. And for me, like I said, I already put the sentiment on the outside, but you could definitely use the pull-up panel to have your sentiment on as well. So underneath where I've stamped pull, you could put a sentiment up there as well. So if you have one of those 2-part sentiments, like, sorry, I forgot your birthday or something like that, you could use that white panel for sentiments as well. Now on the pop-up portion that's going to be dimensional, you want to make sure that there's only adhesive on the lower section of that because this sticks up a little bit over the top, and you don't want the little acorns to be adhered to the top part because they need to stand up when the easel is pulled all the way up. Such a cute, easy, interactive die. This is one of the simplest pop-up dies I've ever used. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching.